I like the term fuck tons.
Fuck tons is good.
It's a good term.
Yeah, if only we could call the podcast that. Fuck
Is-
tons of fun.
Do you think fuck tons is like an Australian only?
Well, I've never heard it until I just said it.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the phrase fuck
I
tons?
guess it's been said around.
It's been around.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck tons, shit tons.
I've definitely heard fuck tons.
Okay.
But I'm curious though.
Mm.
You know, like I know, we're not here to fuck spiders is an Australian one,
Yeah.
which I only heard like a couple of years ago, but has been around.
Once you hear it, then it's everywhere.
But is fuck ton another one?
I reckon
That's
it might
uniquely Australian.
Yeah, we know how to harness the swear word, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a lot more cavalier with swearing than they are in the US and the UK.
I guess it's given us a title for this episode.
Yeah.
Put it that way. I'm always looking for a title.
And now we've got one.
Exactly. Thanks, Ben. Look, as I said, most weeks, not all weeks, but most weeks we talk to filmmakers and whatnot. And we've got a beauty this week. We Ben and I caught up with a filmmaker called Sam Curtin, who has a brand new movie called Beaten to Death. And it's a very brutal and unrelenting movie. And Ben and I are going to pick his brains about that in a little bit. We're also going to have Jarrett Garn. He's a regular every week that comes and talks about physical media, what's new on 4K and Blu-ray, and occasionally...
Yeah, occasionally a DVD an SD,
a filthy DVD,
a
as
filthy
he says.
DVD will sneak through.
And the Boneheads. They'll be around a bit later to impart their Kentucky twang upon us. They've got some good stuff too going at the moment, so you can find them at Bonehead Weekly, wherever you get podcasts from.
And they're a video cast, so you can see all their purdy mouths.
Yeah, and Joe has a purdy mouth.
Purdy mouth.
That's on YouTube. Definitely check that. We're on YouTube too, mate. Like they can see your purdy mouth too.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like watching Deliverance all over again.
Just cover that up. They don't get that. They don't get to see the purdy mouth for free. That's for my OnlyFans.
Yes. Normally, this particular episode would be a Melzi episode, but she's evaded us for the last 2 times she's supposed to be on her appointed slots. But
Got better things to do. I saw her on the internet the other day beating the bejesus out of a bunch of kids in a parent-children soccer game.
Yes.
When she's just knocking them down left, right, and centre like they're bowling pins.
Melzi, if you are new, is one of our teamsters. She's from the Melbourne Horror Film Society, and she does come in every single month. But this episode today drops on Easter Monday, so she does have family commitments and couldn't make it. So that just says a lot for us, Ben, that we don't have anywhere else to be.
No. I was very disappointed to learn that the supermarket was closed today,
Yeah.
but quite happy to learn that the fast food
Yes.
restaurants are all open.
Mm.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
6 of one, half a dozen of the
Well,
other.
they know who their customers
yeah.
are.
I go down to the fish and chip shop so I can have fish. I don't know if that's a Friday or a Monday thing.
That's
I
a
don't
Friday thing. That's a
know.
Friday.
Is it a Friday thing?
Yep.
Friday for the fish?
Yeah. That's why the fillet of fish, or filet-o fish if you're American, that's why that was invented.
Yeah, right.
So McDonald's could actually sell
sell
something
something
on
on
Good
Friday.
Friday, particularly in that, certain parts of America where it's, very religious.
Those silly Christians.
Well, I mean, the fillet of fish is not a bad bite.
I mean, look, there's always been those jokes about the only reason they can call it 100% beef is because the company is 100% beef. And you hear about all of that,
Mm-hmm.
but the fish,
It's slurry.
the fish one, yeah, I'm like, if it's not an actual piece of fish, what is it? Like,
Well, crab sticks are not crab.
yeah, of course not.
Yeah. It's the
Crab's
same-
expensive.
It's slurry.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. Anyway, what are we talking
Yeah, I
about?
don't like. It's one of those things where like once I come to terms with it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I still like chicken loaf. I don't know. It's 90% waddle and claw,
It doesn't matter.
and it
Hot
it's
dogs?
reconstituted. Yeah, hot dogs. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's nothing but horse arseholes. That's fine.
Lip smackers.
I've come to terms with that, and it's like the people who drink Diet Coke and Coke Zero and stuff like that. You're like, look, man, you're drinking Coke.
You know what?
Don't drink it.
The funny thing is, like, quite often, and look, I'm very much stereotyping here, but it's usually larger people that are drinking that.
The
You know,
Coke Zero.
the Coke Zero.
Yeah. I just remembered Jack Black in that Tenacious D comedy album where they're like, I'm on a diet, so give me half real Coke and half Diet Coke because I'm on a fucking diet. Like, if you're gonna drink Coke,
Yeah.
you're obviously not dieting.
No, drink it.
Just fucking drink it.
Yep.
As bad as the Coke is for you, anything that the bad Coke does to your body,
Mm-hmm.
the sugar-free version is doing just as worse, just as poorly in some other way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just gone off fizzy drinks. That's just how I handle it.
That's how you have to. Like
Yep.
you have to sit through that 3-day headache
Yeah.
when you come down off the caffeine and sugar.
Yep. And boy, that's a headache, I'll tell you.
And your dentist will thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where this episode's going.
No, we just it's the Good
but
Food Podcast.
We're gonna. Well, I mean,
I
guess
know you. I know you're a foodie at heart, Glenn.
I am.
I've seen that secret YouTube channel you've got, or the Facebook group. Sorry,
Facebook group.
and I keep sending you stuff on Instagram in the hopes that one day I'll come around and you'll have made
Ooh.
one of those things.
If I knew that was your intention, because I don't abide by recipes. That's the thing.
Yeah, right. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, half of them aren't real recipes. They're just, here's a McDonald's burger. Here's 10 McDonald's burgers that we've just put into a pie pastry.
Got it. Got it. I do that kind of shit. Absolutely. I love making a Big Mac taco. That's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, you'll have to come over for one of those. Cheeseburger tacos are pretty good too. You'd probably prefer that because of the lettuce.
I don't eat the lettuce.
Yeah, well, there we go. Beaten to death. That's the theme of this particular episode. And I guess if you keep eating that shit, you're beating your body to death.
That's right. And we're going to talk about eggs for the rest of the show. We have 1,001 egg recipes.
Actually, what I want to know is the movie Beaten to Death that we're going to be talking about later. How
Yep.
would you define it? What kind of genre even is this?
Revenge thriller?
I can't really nail it. Like, is it a horror movie? Is it? I mean, it's got a lot of gore in it, but it's not quite.
It's not really a jump scare kind of.
No, it's just relentless.
But it's not really a thriller. It's like it's like an exercise in stamina. Like who's going to last longer, you or the filmmakers?
That's right. Extreme.
Extreme
cinema. It is relentless. What do you think of extreme cinema in general? Like, are you a fan? I know when I think even before I met you and I knew about you, you were sort of just, on my peripheral. You were posting lots of, dank kind of shit all over Facebook back in those days.
Most of the time they had a masturbatorial bent to them.
No, I reckon there's some pretty nasty, gory stuff in there as well.
Yeah, well, look, anything that would make a dent in the Facebook or live journal even earlier kind of scene.
Yep.
Look, some I like, some I don't like. The one that I really had a problem with, funnily enough, was a Serbian film.
Right, yep.
Because I thought that was just so incredibly... That was done... Like, they had they had gone on a mission to make it extreme with very little regard to the aesthetics of making an actual film.
It's quite an interesting one you say, because I think most Westerners kind of react that way, and yet if you talk to people from that part of the world, they come at it completely differently.
Yeah,
they
right.
see the allegory for what's going on in
for
their
what's
country.
going on. Yeah, look, and, look, we released at Monster Pictures. We released Life and Death of a Porno Gang, which is in the same set in the same region.
Yep.
About a troupe of traveling stage performers who, on the sly, make snuff films.
Yeah, on the sly.
On the sly, using villagers who have never seen a TV.
Yeah.
Let alone
It's a great concept.
And there's some. I mean, that movie's totally fucked up. But I found those ones to be more movie-like.
Yeah, cinematic.
Cinematic. Yeah, I just like Serbian. It just bothered. I remember. Look, I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to go back and watch it again.
You don't. I mean, I watched it recently, as in maybe 3 months ago, and I mean, I appreciated the technical aspects of it, but it's just not an enjoyable story.
No. It's just like I'd rather see the one I am kind of curious to see is Tom Six, the filmmaker behind the Human Centipede films. His latest one. Mm-hmm. I think it's called the Onania Club.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Which is about a bunch of people who get off on tragedy, basically.
Yeah.
And so they have these clubs where they basically have masturbation parties to scenes of car crashes.
Yeah,
and,
it's like Crash.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how he's done with that, because he's usually a pretty kind of subversive filmmaker, and he does it. I mean, he definitely does it to create a stir.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that movie hasn't come out is probably because they were looking for too much money.
Right.
And no one has...
He thought he could lean into the whole reputation of Human Centipede and do something.
And make as much,
Yeah.
without any of the buzz of Human Centipede. But that's just a personal opinion.
Yeah.
But yet to this day, as far as I know, that film has not been released.
Yeah. No,
So
I haven't seen it.
I'm
anyway.
curious my colleague Grant watched it
Mm-hmm.
and said it was a complete piece of shit.
Right. Okay. I mean,
But-
I find like extreme cinema like that. It's funny. The older you get, the softer you get. I think. I used to, as a younger guy, would enjoy the most extreme films. I think it was more just because I like the fact they could do it.
Yeah.
And no one could tell them they couldn't. And I think that's why I appreciate that there are films like Human Centipede. And Human Centipede's fun regardless. But
Yeah. I thought Human Centipede was quite clever. Human Centipede 2 was just as clever, and they completely reversed the
probably
paradigm.
one of my favorite extreme films is number 2.
and,
I thought that was hilarious as well.
But then there's stuff like the Video Nasties,
Yes.
which you would consider to be extreme cinema then.
Yep.
Not so much now, like
the guinea
we've
pig
evolved,
films.
but the guinea pig films.
Yep.
What was the other category 3 one? Ebola syndrome.
Yeah.
Where he fucks the chicken.
Yeah, I mean, John Waters did it first.
What was the other one? Untold Story? Is that the other one where the poster is the girl with the 2 skeleton arms?
Oh yes, I haven't seen it. I know of it.
Like they've dipped her arms in acid or
I
lye or
love
something,
that
and it's
shit. I do
stripped all
love
the
that
skin.
shit, like that kind of artwork. I mean, I'm kind of keen to see the Profane exhibit. That's one that's been floating around for years. I think it's like a follow up to the Theatre Bazaar.
Yep.
Just
that was the Theatre Bazaar. I think wasn't that David Gregory at Seven Films?
yeah, I think so. I
Theatre
think so.
Bazaar.
And it's like it's an anthology and whatnot. But
Yeah.
all right.
What
Cool.
about the Necromantic? The Necromantic films?
You know, I've got those, and what I find really repulsive about Necromantic is not the content of the film, but the smell of my DVD cases. You open them up, and I reckon they put the smell of rot inside them. It just fucking reeks. And I can't think of that film without thinking of that. Really, it's like the plastic has absorbed some kind of rot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
gross.
made it out of like it's recycled. It's recycled
Jeez.
organs.
It's recycled piss and blood.
Yeah, blood cum,
Well, I mean,
which I think they do at the end of. I
Yes,
can't remember. Is it the
yes.
first or the second
it's
one?
the
where
first
it's-
one.
Yeah,
Yes, it's
there's a lot of blood coming out of there.
Look, just if you are new to the show, this is the way it's going to be for the rest of the episode. Okay, we're talking about extreme cinema, so we're going to talk about things like piss and cum and blood.
Yeah.
I guess there's no better way to bring Jared into the show. I don't know.
And on that,
No, we'll get to him in a moment.
speaking of blood and cum, let's cut to Jarrett.
No, actually, do you remember those guys from Harold and Kumar, the Extreme guys? Extreme.
Yeah,
I should have started the show like that.
yeah.